Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and vitamin D right out the window. It's super, super sunny out there. But welcome to the Gazillionaires Club, and today we will, or you will, be listening to my experience in Mexico. I know I've done a couple of videos on this topic, but I want to share with you why the road trip in America was a peace of mind investment, why traveling to Mexico is a peace of mind, also an investment, and I have one or two places in mind after the amount of time that you are able to stay in a country when you travel. For Mexico is 6 months. Most of the countries, are 3 months, but you can also extend your visa. But I've never done it. I just go with the easiest route. Now, let's go back to why traveling, why buying that RV, traveling around the US was a peace of mind, why traveling to Mexico is a peace of mind, and so on and so on. But before we jump into the topic today, today is probably April 28th or 29th, it's a Sunday, and recently I saw a video of an airline where people are so excited because they're able to take off their mask now.
What are we, 4? No, we're more like 5.
And I'm happy that things are starting to open up, but at the same time, for the past 2 years, right? I mean, the evidence were there, but because of the propaganda and it's, institutions, it just, the consciousness of humanity. And the reason why I said consciousness of humanity, because it didn't happen within the US, it happened all around the globe. And even as of right now, there are still countries out there, required that you gotta have a vaccine passport, a PCR test, an antigen test. And, we came to know that this whole pandemic, or the flu, sunlight, vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D from the sunlight, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, teaching people how to keep their immune system up, eating healthy. We knew all of that, but we did not promote those, but we promoted fear. And the reason why I say we, because we all contributed, right? So put the whole COVID aside, I was really, really stressed out when that happened. And especially I always question, did it really happen? Because when COVID first came to Seattle, there was a video that I made because, President Trump at the time kept pointing at China. And then what happened was I went to the park, right? Because at that time, people were looking at Asian people like, oh my God, that's a walking disease.
COVID-19! COVID-19! COVID-19!
Walking disease. And I felt this like I was discriminated when I went to the park. I was working out and I saw this lady with her grandkids, and I totally get it. But when you feel discriminated because like people think that you carry the virus, or it was just bizarre to me. And then all of the parks were closed. The economy shut down, and I was just like, what is going on? And at the time living in Seattle, I was just like, man, I gotta get out of here. If I really, because during President Trump era, everything was so divisive because there was a war going on, in my opinion. With the news, like everyone was trying to get him out of office. And that's the politics side of it. The other side, they were trying to also push, for the lockdown and, to vax people. And I do believe that it is like, to sterile people, that is one thing. To depopulate, meaning that, slowly, people would just die off slowly just because, the resources are limited, natural resources, and people are disposable to the Elliots, right? And at that point, on my journey, I've always talked about going within. And the thing is, I express my opinion, my worldview, simply because if you are not aware of what is going on, how can you be awake if you have no idea that you're sleeping? It's like, I freed 2 dumb bitches. I could have freed another one if they knew they were dumb bitches. I'm sorry, but what I'm trying to say is, I bought the RV. I traveled because I wanted to get out of that, of that environment. Because, and when I was able to travel out of that environment, I wanted to build my content, because on April 15th or 19th of 2019, right? That's when I first made a video. After I got out of Provo, Utah event, the Chris Crone event, and then, I looked back at that first video, and I was like, wow, so I guess everything happened for a reason. For me, it was a peace of mind, because I was able to go to different places and see the people, how are people reacting, and at the same time, keeping that peace of mind and able to keep making content. And I'm glad I did. Because right after everything, right after I travel, actually the RV life, that was awesome. It was a good experience. However, all of the issues that, broke down with the RV and stuff like that, it kind of drove me insane. But then at the same time, I was like, definitely worth it. Would I do it again? Definitely, but a road trip. Not an RV, but like, a car. And then like a van kind of thing, and then go to campsite, because those campsites, they have cabins, so I would prefer it that way.
I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? In the paper, the news, every day I am. Pornhub don't even play my jam.
And right after at Texas was the last stop, right? So I was able to travel the whole country, explore, and then, I eventually got better at making like videos, being on camera. Now that, and kind of show you who I am as a person. I share my worldview. Let me try that one more time. I gotta do it slowly. I shared my worldview, so that you, my friend, can see where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that I'm right, but at least I'm able to put myself out there, and then you can do your own research. I always encourage you to do your own research anyway, but this is my journey, my life. This is how I see the world, and I want to share it with you. And then, and then at least like I don't have to take I was able to take my mind off of I put my mind into exploring rather than living in fear. And then after I sold the RV, Midland, Texas was the last stop. I went back to Seattle, say goodbye to my family. Well, because my mom and dad, they want to retire, so they ended up selling the property that where I grew up at. And I knew that once I get back to Seattle and start traveling, making content, I'm not gonna be back in the United States, because I do, with the St. Kitts and Nevis passport, I do want to renounce my U.S. citizenship.
But Con, you still live in your mama basement.
And then, traveling Mexico, temperature, no travel restrictions. It just living expenses. Everything here fit the criterias, right? And I was like, I gotta be somewhere tropical. I gotta, have that peace of mind. And after Mexico, I'm going to travel to countries that don't have travel restrictions, because I think it's a good thing that this whole thing is slowing down, is dying, and the facts are coming out. And I think it's a really good thing that is ended. But then at the same time, it's just so sad that I truly believe that these people, and when I say these people, people that are spreading false information about COVID, and we're talking about a lot of people, from institutions to hospital to social media, censoring people. The truth, we're screaming, but then every time it's screamed, it got censored. From doctors, professors at universities, with all the protests, I saw the interview. It's not an interview, but it was a compilation of Mr. Jordan Peterson, or Mr. Peterson, and some of the professors that were canceled, that were being attacked when they're trying to speak out, and and even with nurses, right? The New York situation, and with the defund the police and all that stuff, it just things in America, which is really crazy. University, we're teaching people. Propaganda, and the way that I see it, with this whole gender thing, it's America's a mess, and the only thing that I can do as an individual, share my world view, so that you can do some research and and explore. Stop living in fear. Go out there, explore the topics I'm talking about. And at the same time, I also encourage you to get on camera, share, start building your personal brand.
Born as Con, your friend Con, just at Con, Con, this is Con.
Because, it's also a good way to let your fear voice out or be heard. Because if you live in a bubble and everyone is doing the same thing, everyone is living in fear, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna affect you. You gotta be, everyone is going to go through a transformation, but that option is up to the individual. And what I try to encourage people to do on my channel is I show you everything about my life, my journey, my transformation, my travels, and I try to share comedy. Yes, when I first started my channel, I was that nice Con, I never cussed. Now I'm like, what's up, bitches? I'm rich.
But my love is all I have to give.
But you know what I'm saying? So my friend, for me, everything that I do, I'm not rich or anything. I work 9 to 5 my whole life, but then at the same time, with crypto helped me where I don't have to work for other people, And what I'm doing right now is just work. I'm putting in a lot of work. It's been like 3 years. I mean, to a lot of people, that's nothing. Even to myself, even though I say it's a lot, but it's still nothing. I'm at a point where I'm still building my personal brand. I'm still trying to improve myself. Like I said, I'm not going to start the Gazillionaires Club. I'm not going to have people come to the club until I establish my diet, the people that I know, in a very precise, kind of not core value, but mission statement. Once I establish that, I think the hardest part is people, getting the right kind of people, and I think the only way for me to do that is to show you exactly who I am, who is Khan, and show you my journey, my transformation, and I feel like that's the only way for me to, to recruit the right kind of people in the circle and make the Gazillionaires Club happen. And that's what I do every day. But then at the same time, everything that I do, it's for a peace of mind. And go back to that whole law of attraction, right? I knew that I want to start the Gazillionaires Club. I want to have the property. I want to have people come, and I want to have activities, events, where people come, and it's going to give people a whole different perspective of life. And I want them to walk away with starting their own journey. I just want to share that knowledge, that mission statement of mine. And that mission statement is kind of like a recipe, right? A recipe for for people to start their journey. Now, I'm not a motivational speaker, nor do I want to be a motivational speaker. The reason why I share the good, the bad, the ugly, the charming of Khan is because you and I are pretty much the same. And the reason why I'm not afraid to put myself out there, because I want you to see the real me, and I want you, my friend, to show me the real you, okay? And we can only build relationships if we know who each other are. Because even when we go out, we meet people on the street, people can say who they want to be, but deep down, I feel like, and it's not, people don't do it intentionally. It's like, if people don't know you, why would they want you to know everything about their life, right? And building a personal brand, putting yourself on camera, and it's like you attract the right kind of people. That's all I'm saying. And the law of attraction is that have a vision, and whatever you do, no matter which direction you take, as long as you have that intention of I'm gonna get there someday. I'm gonna get there someday. Believe in it like you already have it. Like everything I do, I see it, and the best part is here and that big smile on my face. Now, I'm not saying that I'm crazy happy all the time. I deal with it, but then at the same time, once you have that foundation of who you are,
Come with me to the dark side.
It's really easy to move forward. And you gotta make that video. Use the hashtag Gazillionaires Club, okay? Having a peace of mind is so important, because if you don't have a peace of mind, you cannot go out there and lead a group of people. You cannot, you cannot share your superpower with other people, because if you're still struggling, with peace, with inner peace, you cannot, fulfill your mission, because somewhere along the line, it's going to backfire. And when that happens, my friend, when that happens, you gotta kind of start over. So when you first start out, don't worry too much. Nobody told me like, hey, I should do my video this way, I should do my video that way. My channel's not growing. At first, when I first started, I cared. And then at this point, I just keep doing it. I just keep putting in the work, even though Odyssey is the only platform that I'm on. But I'm okay. It's not like I'm taking my time in a lazy kind of way. I just know the outcome, right? I know the outcome. I put in the work, and eventually, it will be given to me. I will attract the right kind of energy. I will attract the right kind of people, and eventually everything will work out. And you have to believe it like it's already there, but don't be afraid to put in the work, even if you don't see the result. That a lot of people give up because they don't see the result. But right now, even though my social media is not huge, but I'm living the life. When I watched that first video of myself, April, I say 15 or 19 of 2019, April 15 or April 19. I said I wanted to travel. I wanted to make music. I want to make comedy, and I'm doing just that.
Voila!
So I am living the life, right? And that's why it's so important to make videos, to document your journey so that you can go back and keep track of your progress. But then at the same time, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to do that makes you happy? And even if you don't get paid, even if you don't get the results, you do it. And why do you do it? That why is so important. So my friend, thank you for watching my channel. The crazy, the happy, the ugly. You've probably seen every part of me. So, and I hope you can do the same. Share your life with me and the world, and then we can, eventually, whatever is it that you want to do, you will attract the right kind of people. So much love. I can't wait to hear from you. And if you I positioned the camera a little bit strange in this video, but if you know how I do it, make a video. Let me know how I position the camera. See if you know the trick. It's not really a trick. I just found a really creative way, and if you know how I do it, make a video. Use the hashtag Gazillionaires Club. How I place the camera, and and why it's the tripod in front of me. Wait. That. Okay. Anyway. But just so you know, the phone is not recording directly at me. Okay. That's the only tip I can give you. Much love. Ta-da.